is up, guys? Thank you guys so much for tuning back into The Way in the Light. Welcome or welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Kalia Amani. I am a faith-based lifestyle content creator, but also podcaster at the same time. But you guys, I have such an awesome guest with me today. His name is Hassan.
How y'all doing?
And he is with the Forgive family brand, and I'm just so excited to bring him on. But first and foremost, could you just introduce yourself, tell him a little bit about yourself and everything?
Sure. Hassan Niblet II on 70x7 Clothing, a.k.a. the Forgive brand, the Forgive family. Grew up in Harley, Georgia. I went to Woodland High School. Got 3 younger brothers. They went to Woodland as well. You know, we grew up real close-knit family, and I feel like that's kind of why our brand is so strong. You know, we all work together to try to, bring God the glory through something tangible, which is clothing. Mm-hmm. I have 3 children, been married to my wife, Morgan, for coming up on 4 years. So, they help as well. And, just being married to an entrepreneur, as your mom can attest to, mm-hmm. It's a lot of sacrifices that your spouse has to make as you're going out, trying to build it up from the ground up and make things happen. So, I definitely want to shout my wife out, shout out the fam and, my children and my brothers.
Yes, that is what's up. Okay, so how long has this brand, your guys' brand been going on?
Yeah, we started in 2016. God gave my mom a vision of the world and everything that was going on at the time. There was a lot of division, a lot of hate, racism and things of that nature. You saw a lot of police brutality and things of that nature. So, he gave my mom a vision of what the world needed. And, it came, straight from his book, straight from the Bible. And, ever since then, we just been pushing it. I guess we're going on 7 years, definitely, it's been a blessing to, hear so many different stories from different people. And, we just been following him in our pursuit, through clothing.
Yeah. And that's what's up. That's so exciting. And I commend you guys so much because clothing is not easy because my dad was in the clothing line business as well. So, I kind of familiar with, that whole kind of thing. Not as much, but, I would go out publicly and promote and everything.
It can be tough.
It is.
It's a sacrifice, and it's a lot of hard work that people don't see that goes on, behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. So, we just grind it out, man. A lot of late nights, early mornings, a lot of sacrifice and a lot of grinding, trying to get to, where we think it can go. Yeah. So it's fun though. It's rewarding. It's rewarding once you see the end result.
Yeah.
People, rocking the merch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so on to the questions. So excited. Yeah. What would be the most fundamental factors in being a godly entrepreneur?
Man, that's a great question. These questions, man, had me pondering. I was like, man, Kalia came with the heat. But you always want to keep the main thing, and that's God being the center and focus of everything that you're doing. As long as you do that, and He's the foundation of what you're doing. You're building on something that's steady,
Yes.
A lot of times in life, things change, but if you're built on that solid foundation, you're on the right track.
Right.
Everything else from there is pretty much just X's and O's and how you execute, what you want with your brand. So, keeping the main thing, like I said, and just letting Him use you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest things with, just life in general, that ties into, just running a business or just being an entrepreneur is keeping God at the center of everything.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. He's got to be there.
Yeah, because, if He's not, it's just everything is just shaky. Mm-hmm. You're just uncertain. But also, just being a believer and having God in the center of your business or your brand in general, it makes everything go much more smoother.
Right.
And also, you do have that true foundation that that if anything shifts, that everything's going to be okay. You're not kind of, taken off by or shocked. Mm-hmm. If anything happens, you're like, okay, God, I know that you have a plan and that your will always be done.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
For sure. Okay, so what are your steps in gaining clarity when trying something new?
Yeah, and that's another great question. And as a creative, man, your mind can really just be racing. I feel like my mind doesn't really turn off unless I'm intentional about, saying I'm gonna take a break. And not really focus on this or that. But like I said, and with clothing too, it can be a real like slippery slope, you know what I'm saying? Because you want everything that you put out to really hit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from that standpoint, like I said, my mind runs continuously, and I'm always trying to think of new, fresh ideas on what to do next.
Yeah.
So, you know, I definitely seek him first, you know what I'm saying? Because I realize, you know, pretty much that his plan is the only plan, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times in that, you know, we know there's perfect peace in God. So with that being said, I almost rest in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let him just work, and the ideas will eventually just come to me. I mean, I get inspiration from different things. I mean, it's inspiration all around us. You know, everybody's inspired by something. And with that being said, you know what I'm saying? The ideas will just come, you know, straight from just resting in his presence. You know what I'm saying? Staying in his word, and just you know, staying focused on him. And from there, you know, I just gain clarity. That's where I get my best clarity at. And it's almost like he just, you know, lays it in my lap at that point. You know what I'm saying? On what'll hit. Because, I mean, business it's ups and downs. You know, some things flop or don't hit like you think they might. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to the first, you know, question about foundation. Like, it's so many ups and downs. You can get upset about something flopping, you know, but as long as that foundation is steady, you know, you got something to bounce back off of. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's where, you know, I get my clarity from, and how I get it.
That's dope. And I can definitely relate to that. Just being a content creator, like my mind is always on the go. And like you said previously, you have to tell yourself to rest. So I'm like constantly always trying to find new content ideas to do, or new editing styles, or just anything like that. And so I do have to tell myself, Kalia, like, you just need to rest. And I think one of the biggest things that you said that you touched on was resting in God's presence, because resting in general, or this world's idea of rest, is like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap, but then you wake up more tired. So like finding habits, you know, to implement into your life, or your whatever, you know, that you're doing, is so important. So I would just say, like, what's some of the things that you could tell the people, like, I guess tips or whatever habits that you implemented in resting in God's presence, and what does that look like?
You just stay in his word, and really be around people that are like-minded and doing things, you know, the same way that you are doing them. You know what I'm saying? It's just different ways, you know, get different inspirations from different things, you know, talking to different people that are like-minded as you know what I'm saying? That, you know, follow the same plans as you know what I'm saying? And are really just on the same path as you, I guess is a good way I could put it. So, you know, I do those kind of things, you know. Then I'll do some things, you know, just to get my mind, you know, off of things, you know. You know, hanging out with the family. It could be different things, you know, just like I said, talking to different people, just enjoying time with people you love. Yeah. You know, so, you know, those are just some of the things that I implement. And like I said, just put it in my lap, and then we rolling from there. Yeah. Just executing the plan from there.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. That's all good stuff. Okay, so I would say, what are your priorities in running the business?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess let me give kind of like I didn't really go too far into detail at the beginning about it, but you know, we're the Forgive family, of course, and you know, our brand is based out of the book of Matthew 18, 21, and 22. You know, Peter speaking with Jesus about how you should forgive those that sin against you. And he asked if you should forgive up to 7 times, and Jesus replied, not only 7, but 70 times 7. So that's, you know, that's the root of our messages. But the priorities in that is, you know, God first, of course. And I feel like that should be a given. But from there, we're trying to introduce forgiveness or reintroduce forgiveness to people, you know, that need it. So much going on in the world. You know, we're trying to hit all kind of age ranges and dynamics. You know, we want to definitely hit the kid dynamic. And I say kid, but children, whatever ages, because, you know, they go through a lot. You know, they don't always know how to process that. So we're definitely making sure that's a priority. Yeah. And that's you know, that's one of the big things. Also, just different roles within the brand. I guess if that's kind of what you were asking, like priorities within the brand. You know, I do a lot of the social media stuff. I'm a photographer as well, so you know, the website, the pictures for the website, and all kinds of things like that. So, I mean, being an entrepreneur, it's like, I mean, we have 6 different people, you know, that play different roles, but everybody has to be so diverse and do, you know, so many different things to make sure the brand operates the way we want it to operate. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah,
all right, you know,
yeah, for sure. So being in like the family, you know, running it as a family, how did you guys kind of navigate who does who within this?
Kind of was just all in at the beginning. And I feel like from there, people kind of just fell into roles, you know what I'm saying? We kind of, you know, we all have different backgrounds and we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. So we could fairly quickly kind of figure out, you know, who did what, you know what I'm saying? So for example, you know, my mom was good with the finances. So she handles all that stuff, you know, that's super important with the taxes and everything like that. You know, I'm creative. Another one of my brothers is creative. Another one of my brothers works in, you know, human resources. So from that aspect, you know, he's able to look into different things. You know, my youngest brother has great ideas. So he's able to, you know, pitch in ideas like that. And like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming, man. More so than just clothes. So you'll be able to see more of, you know, what everybody has to bring to the table as things continue to unfold.
Yeah, that's dope. Okay, cool. So another question that I think is just that could have a huge takeaway in this is how do you partner with God in your business? So we talked about resting in his presence and just making sure that he's sit in the center of everything. But what's some of the ways that you kind of notice that you're not just consulting God, God is a partner in the business?
So it's interesting. I feel like he is the business, you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Simply because when God gave my mom the vision of the brand, like it came directly from his word. You know what I'm saying? It's you see a lot of different brands that may have a different name, but our name 70 times 7 comes straight from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So like we are partnered with him in that. You know what I mean? So everything that we do, you know, is directly tied to him and bringing attention, you know, to him, so he can get the glory. You know what I'm saying? We're just messengers at the end of the day. The filtration system from him to the world. So that's, you know, that's how I would answer that question.
Yeah, and that's huge. And I think it's just one of the fundamental things is that we're just vessels for God's kingdom. And I feel like a lot of the times when you get a huge following that I've seen in just, you know, growing my brand and doing stuff on social media, you can get caught up in the audience aspect of everything and just kind of forgetting your reason and your why for starting in the first place. And God was your why.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just starting everything. So everything that you do should be glorifying, you know, the Father.
100%. Yeah. No, you hit that right on the nail, man. Like a lot of times you'll see people who, you know, they were just like us starting out, you know, just grinding, trying to get it out the mud, and then when they hit like a special or a reach, I guess, a milestone, quote unquote, with their social media presence, like things shift and things change. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just know like it can be here one day and then gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be humble and you definitely want to remember the reason why you started and you know who's the reason and the provider behind, you know, everything that you have. So you definitely want to stay humble and, you know,
Absolutely.
or recognize, I'd say, the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah, there was one of the scriptures that I kind of wanted to point out because we're hitting that like so heavy, and it was just one of my favorite scriptures. It's Proverbs 16:3. So let me flip to it real quick.
Take us there.
So it says, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. And I think this is just huge because, like I said previously, and how we've touched on, everything should be glorifying God. Everything that you do. I mean, Scripture says it. When you eat, breathe, everything should be unto the Father. And so I think just as a entrepreneur or just a business owner or just trying to grow your brand, you know, per se. So I think that one of the things that we just need to continue to recognize is that God is the head of everything.
Oh, yeah, 100%. No doubt. I mean, everything flows from there, you know what I'm saying? Everything flows from the head. So we need to, you know, really be steady on believing in that and, you know, resting in that, like you said. And once that foundation is right, man, like opportunities are limitless, you know, for what you can do, especially as an entrepreneur. I mean, so, man, I mean, you hit that right on the nail when you said that. And that's a beautiful scripture. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. So when you guys first started out, were y'all ever discouraged with like the journey of it all?
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that's almost natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times where you just get tired, man, and you like, man, it's not growing as fast as I want to.
Yeah.
That's when you have to shift your focus, and you got to really remember the motive behind, why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Only what you do for God's going to last. And if you keep him the foundation and the focus of why you're doing that, you know what I'm saying? You take the attention away from you, you know what I'm saying, and put it on him. That gives you a different hustle, a different grind, and a different reason for doing what you're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's super, super important, man. Super important.
Yeah. And something that I always say is if God is in the midst of it, he's going to bring the audience. He's going to bring the traction. Yeah, but I was just like with the conference that I'm planning, I was like, okay, I'm not going to stress about this at all because God, I know and I believe that you care about every single detail. And I know that you care about every person that will enter into that room. So God just gave me a number. Right. And I'm like, the whole focus of this conference in the first place is to have an encounter with Jesus Christ. To come together as women to just encounter the presence of Jesus. And I was like, God, I believe you will move. God, I believe that you will shift this atmosphere because we invite the Holy Presence in. So I know that the audience will come. I know that the traction will come. Yeah, no doubt. So I think that's one of the biggest things with, having a business, selling things, just kind of being discouraged in the beginning, like, oh, we're not making as many sales as we want to. Yeah. But God, I believe in you and I trust in your plan. Guys, it is future Kalia Amani popping in. What is up, y'all? I just wanted to make a quick announcement for my ladies. Ladies, mark your calendars for June 17th. I have a refreshed women's brunch on the come up for June 17th of this year. I am just super honored and excited that God had laid this on my heart to do. So ladies, I need you to mark your calendars and buy some tickets to come out. It is going to be a little bit close to Atlanta. So if you guys are willing to travel, definitely travel. But if you are in the Atlanta area, y'all, you don't want to miss it. I have 80 spots, and so they're going to fill up quick. So make sure you guys go ahead and book your tickets. It's going for $45 right now, and I'm just so excited to have this for you guys. The menu, the food is going to be bomb. We're having a chef come and cater, and I'm just so excited. So all the details will be in the description below, so make sure you guys go check that out. Also, the link to buy your tickets will be there as well. If you can't make it or if the tickets sell out, y'all, I would appreciate so much if you sewed into this event. So the donation button will also be on there as well. But yeah, I hope to see you guys there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, like you said, it can be discouraging because, I mean, I done put out some stuff that done flop. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, man, I know that was fire. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's a great way to humble you as well. You know what I'm saying? And make you stay focused. And it really make you do your research on different things and make you read different things, listen to different podcasts. Yeah. See how different people have been successful, in different ways. And like, kind of like the methods they used, and it makes you tune in and really lock in on what you're doing. Like, I mean, I feel like you never really fail, but I look at failure as, your first attempt at learning. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I use that acronym for fail. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like you fail. You just learn from it and, you just keep moving forward and being better because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, looking at other brands is so important as well, but also not getting in the state and the mindset of, like, comparing.
Yeah, the competition.
Because everything, I feel like, even running a business with God and everything, you can kind of get in that headspace. I can speak for myself, like personally, like I've compared myself or my business to other people, or like, why am I not successful? But now, like, the mindset that I'm having, I'm like, honestly, failure, but also it taking a little bit longer than anybody else, it gives me that experience. It gives me that just outlook of like, I would rather it take a couple years and I get as many connections or this much experience rather than just like it blowing up overnight and I didn't really learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all a process, you know what I'm saying? If it blow up too fast, you may not have been ready for that, you know what I'm saying? Or you may not have had the steps or the process in place, you know what I'm saying, to be able to handle that, you know what I'm saying? So, God's process and just learning how to really fall into what, His plan is for us.
Yeah.
it's the best thing for us. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Even if it don't seem like it in that moment. So that's the way, that's the way just, I feel like the best way to really operate and just, flow in it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of nuggets in here. Okay, so you mentioned that your scripture was, what you guys based off. So would that tie into your mission statement as well?
Yeah, our mission statement, and it's really a quote. But we like to say, forgiveness is the key that frees the captive from his internal cell. You know what I'm saying? And I can expound on that. If you walking in unforgiveness, there is no way you can operate in love on the levels that God called you to love. And I mean, we can break it down. Let's break it down to a high school couple, right?
Yeah.
You got a guy and a girl. They've been dating for however long. Let's say, and this could be kind of extreme, but let's say one cheats on the other, right? Either way it go, boy cheats on the girl cheats on the guy. Let's say the boy cheats. Sorry, fellas. Let's say the boy cheats on the girl, right?
Yeah.
That girl, I mean, she's gonna be hurt. Like, I mean, naturally anybody would. You know what I'm saying? So if she holds on to that, let's say it's 2-3 years later down the road, she holds on to that same hurt. The next guy comes, and approaches her and wants to love her the correct way, but she's still holding on to what the last guy did. She's blocked her heart. There's no way he can, truly and thoroughly get through.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And love her like she deserves to be loved. You know what I'm saying? She could be missing out on that opportunity. So what we do is, man, we got forgiveness as the key. We put it in that lock. Yeah. Open up that heart. You know what I'm saying? And allow that person to have access to all the love that, they deserve and the love that they can pour out too.
Absolutely.
So that's what we use as our mission statement, and that's, what the foundation of, what we operate out of.
Yeah. That's dope. So good. I love that. I'm like, these people are going to be so excited to just listen to this podcast and tune in. Yeah, I hope you guys are taking notes as well, because if you have, I'm going to need you to rewind all the way back and start over and just start taking notes.
That's right.
But y'all, he's also repping one of the pieces too.
Oh, yeah.
So give him what
y'all think? Can we get a like?
Yeah.
Thumb up or thumb down?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's dope. I love it.
Leave a comment or something if they like it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Would you say Christian business owners do anything different than any other business owner?
I feel like, and that question really has, I don't want to say had me perplexed, but it's really had me pondering, because the only reason I say it's really had me, thinking the hardest out of any of the other questions is because, like, I've only been around my brand and like-minded, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying, that keep, God first or try to. So I'm not exactly sure what everybody else, might do. But I can say that, with God as the foundation of your brand, like I've said before, your opportunities are limitless. You know what I'm saying? And you won't fail. You might have hiccups. You know what I'm saying? But with him as the foundation of it, man, you're bound to succeed. You're bound to change lives. You know what I'm saying? You never know. If it's only one person that's life is changed because of, what you're doing or the message that you're portraying, or the message that you're putting out. Yeah. That's one more person added to the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good way to look at it. You know what I'm saying? You don't always measure success by wins and losses. You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote. You measure it by the impact that you're making. So I feel like that's the message, that's the message, the foundation of God, and just keeping him first in your brand and everything that you're doing.
I think that's really good. And I think a lot of it goes back to wisdom. Like when we say we're seeking God's presence and resting in his presence, ultimately is seeking God's wisdom at the end of the day as well. So kind of what does that look like for you, if it's different from anything?
I feel like it's it's pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? The only way you really going I mean, I guess I like to use examples, so we'll back it up and use an example, but we'll go relationships, since I feel like that's easily relatable. You got a guy and a girl, let's say they first start talking. They don't really know each other too well, but the only way they gon' gain wisdom about the other person or knowledge or or understand them better is by what? Talking to them and getting to know them, right? And that's the same way with God, man. He's not like some foreign creature, you know what I'm saying, or that's so far fetched that you can't reach him. You know what I mean? Like he's easily attainable, you know what I'm saying? He wants that father son, that father, you know, daughter relationship with us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So really to gain that wisdom, man, you read on his word, you know what I'm saying? You meditate in his presence. Yeah. You know, you praise and worship, you know what I'm saying? And just really get in there and get the opportunity. You have the opportunity, but take the opportunity to really understand them, you know what I'm saying, and get that wisdom. So that's the way I see it, man. That's the way I get my wisdom to be able to operate, you know, at what I'm aiming to be an elite level.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was going to read a scripture, and it is Proverbs 4, verse 7. It says, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. So here, he taught Solomon that if he remained in the path, you know, in wisdom, that wisdom would keep him and persevere him. And so I think when we keep God in the midst of it and keep God in the center of everything, wisdom and God will ultimately keep us at the end of the day. If you honor God in everything that you do, God will honor you. For instance, in a relationship, if you honor God in that relationship, God will then honor you and bless you in that relationship. Right, so it's the same with your brand or entrepreneurship or anything like that. If you keep God's wisdom, if you ask God, you know, how to move forward before you move, and when he says go, you go, like keeping that, God is going to bless you abundantly.
No, I 100% totally agree. I mean, you're going to produce what you focus on. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on, I mean, it's not necessarily I'll talk, but if you focus on sin, you're going to reproduce sin. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on God, you will be a representation of him. You know what I'm saying? We're made in his likeness and image. You know what I'm saying? So just like you, I mean, the more time you spend with your dad, you know what I'm saying, the more you reflect him. The more time you spend with your mom, the more you reflect her and the knowledge that they impart in you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the same, man. It's the same with God, you know what I'm saying? He wants great things for us. He wants success for us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the best advice I can give is, you know, draw as close and as near as you can to him. You know what I'm saying? So you can be a representation of him.
That's dope. And while we're on the topic of wisdom, I just love, because y'all know wisdom is always sporadically put in the Bible. But this is also Ecclesiastes 7:12, and it says, for the protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom perseveres the life of him who has it. So here wisdom was recognized or kind of better known as the excellence of knowledge, and it gives whatever life can be had in under the sun. And so I think a lot of the foundation of just everything, like we've kind of touched on, is having God's wisdom, God's discernment, and God's Holy Spirit, his Holy Ghost, and just everything that we do. But yeah.
Man, you hitting it right on the nail, man. I'm soaking it all in, trying to just absorb everything you're saying. But yeah, man, like I said, you hitting it right on the nail. You helping me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Soaking it all in.
Yeah, that's dope. I think one of the things that I've kind of been learning too, and I don't know if you can relate to this, is when it comes to just the way that God is moving in my life with growing my brand and my business, is my faith is even shocking me. And just, I'm literally like, I mentioned it before, but God, he cares about every single detail. God is so big, but he cares about every little thing. Yeah. And so just kind of moving in that way, I think I'm just shocking myself in this season of, oh my gosh, Kalia, like you're actually trusting God with every little detail. Yeah, no doubt. But I think that's one of my fundamental things is crazy faith. Crazy faith. I love crazy faith. It's crazy, but it's one of the most amazing things that I've kind of been learning. So I don't know if you can relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, God is so detailed. Like, out of all the people in the earth, no two people are the exact same. You know what I'm saying? No two people have the same cornea. No two people have the same fingerprints. You know what I'm saying? He's so intentional about each and every one of us, and when you realize, you know, that how important you are to him, that he put you on this earth at this specific time, you know what I'm saying, from begin date to end date to make the impact, you know, as that dash in between, you know what I'm saying, you really can you really can operate in the levels that you're supposed to operate on. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you value who you are. You know what I mean? So, like you said, the detail, man, the detail is important.
Yeah.
And really, you really honing that fact and owning it, man. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Life changer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to touch back on one of the points that you made earlier that I absolutely love, and I'm like, I need to start saying that more, is with God, you know, nothing's limitless.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we serve a God who's huge, and he's not limited to anything. He moves mountains. He says, like, literally, he spoke. When God spoke, everything was created.
Came into existence.
And so it's like, why should we little God, or, you know, kind of limit him when he's the one who created the universe? And so, like, if you have a desire, God laid on your heart that you need to go and you need to start this business, that you need to become an entrepreneur, or that you just need to dream bigger and think outside of the box, do so, because that is the God that we serve. We serve a God who's not limited to anything. We serve a God who shakes the unshakable, breaks the unbreakable, God. And, like, it's the most amazing thing to just have that mindset while running a business.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. What we do, man, and sometimes, like, unintentional, you know, we try to, I don't want to say dumb God down, but we try to bring what's the word I'm looking for? Our thought process, our way of thinking, and try to place God in that box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I probably could have phrased that a little bit better, but we try to bring our thoughts, you know, to his table, or bring our ways to his ways, forgetting, you know, he's all knowing, you know what I'm saying? All powerful, you know what I'm saying? He's controlling everything. So he's the way, man.
Yeah.
He's the way, and really just truly owning that and understanding it. It can be hard sometimes. You know, we all go through different things, you know what I'm saying? But just really owning the fact that he has it under control.
Yeah.
It makes a world of difference.
Yes. This is amazing. I'm loving every bit of it. Okay, so my last and final question, which probably that I have written down. But
no doubt.
How do you balance the society's way of grind and hustle compared to God's way?
It's a good question, man. And you always hear about people, you know, grinding, you know, hustling, quote unquote, thugging it out. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it all comes down to your motive on why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with grinding. You know, it's nothing wrong with hustling. You know what I'm saying? Things ain't gonna just fall out the sky for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? But the motive behind what you're doing, or the motive behind why you're doing what you're doing, is what makes it makes all the difference, man. If you're out there just chasing money gonna go up and down. You know what I'm saying? That's not a solid foundation. Because what's gonna happen if the money get funny? You know what I'm saying? You just gonna fold, or you gonna keep on moving, right? You know what I'm saying? But what God is your foundation, business gonna do up and this and that. You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable.
Yeah.
With him as your foundation, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have more of those than those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even when times are down, you know how to bounce back. You know how to fight, and you know how to persevere.
Yes.
So your grind is not in vain. You know what I'm saying? So only what you do for God's gonna last. You know what I'm saying? With him as the foundation,
right?
You know, your steps are ordered to, you know, go in the right direction.
Yeah. One of our points earlier is, you know, having to tell ourselves to rest, and to, you know, just rest in God's presence is something so huge, because I feel like when we're always constantly thinking, it can become idolization. We can start to idolize the money. We can start to idolize the grind and the hustle of everything, and get so absorbed in the success and the money that's coming, or the audience that we're getting, the views, the likes that we're getting. That can become an idolization, and then we could forget our why. We could forget the reason why we started this in the first place, or the God that we serve, because now we're serving the money and the success, our brand, ourselves, and we can kind of get lost into that. So I thinking just saying that, you know, just make sure that you are being self-aware in that, and even calling yourself out, you know, just being real with yourself. Am I idolizing this, or am I worried more about this or the money or my brand, rather than God? Am I glorifying you in this? Man,
you got to keep the main thing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you have him as the focus of what you're doing, you can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you ever think more about the money, get money hungry. You know what I'm saying? You think about, you know, you put your brand before him. You know what I'm saying? Anything before him, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So like you said, like I say, you know, keep the main thing, keep him the focus, and everything else will fall in line from there.
And even if he's the one that started everything.
Yeah, no
like
doubt.
God will give us the brand,
Yeah.
and He'll give us the idea. He'll give us the desire, you know, the fire for it, you know, and then
Still can't,
right, yeah,
yeah,
for sure,
it happens.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that is all the questions that I had for you today, and I think we hit on some really, really good things. I'm sure when I watch this back, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I really needed to hear that again.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some notes myself.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just so glad that you were able to come on the Way in the Light podcast.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah,
for coming on, man. And, you know, got big things coming.
Yeah,
we'll continue to grind it out God's way. And I look forward to, you know, continue to, you know, see your success.
Yeah,
the Way in the Light, and you know, all that God's going to continue to do within it.
Yeah, for sure. And should we talk about
let's
the
talk.
shirt?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so we're kind of doing like a switch. He's coming on the Way in the Light, but then we're also having a project in the works for our viewers, his audience, and also my audience. So the Way in the Light listeners, we will possibly be coming out with a t-shirt.
Yeah, what y'all think about that, man? We definitely want y'all to support it, you know what I'm saying? But like when I talked to Kalia about it, you know, about the collaboration, you know, I love what she's doing. She loves what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's a great way, you know what I'm saying, just to collab with each other and to introduce what we have going on, introduce what she has going on, you know, to both markets. You know what I'm saying? It's room for everybody at the top. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as long as God's getting glorified, you know, at the end of the day, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make something happen. We're gonna get this logo.
Yes. Down pat. Because what I tell y'all, the mock-up that I had.
Yeah, she's silly.
It was crazy. I'm not an artist, but he got the idea.
Yeah, I like the concept. I like the concept because I'm not an artist either, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure mine would have looked way worse, you know what I'm saying? So I could appreciate, you know, her, you know, being humble about it, you know what I mean? And, you know, just being real and vulnerable about showing somebody that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole different topic for a whole different day. We allow fear, you know what I'm saying, of being vulnerable to hold us back from things that God wants us to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate you showing that.
Yeah.
And gave us ideas, something that could be special.
Super dope. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More details will be coming out. But yeah. So I just want to thank you again for coming on the Way in the Light podcast. I'm sure my viewers loved it and everything. But before you go, just tell the people where they can find you, your social media, all of that good stuff.
No doubt. We're on Instagram, LXX_VII, and LXX, the Roman numerals. The L's are 50, the X's are 10, 60, 70. The underscore, that would be our multiplication sign, but we couldn't use that on Instagram. So the V's are 5 and the I's are 1, so that's how you get the 70 times 7. You can follow us, LXX_VII. You can, you know, check out the merch, 70, spelled out SEVENTY. The number is 70, 70. Then an X, then 7 spelled out SEVEN. The number 7.com, 70 times 7.com.
Dope.
I want to make sure I spelled that right. Yeah, put that
in the description too.
Especially just in case I spell something wrong.
Yeah, but dope. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning into the Way in the Light. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you're viewing online, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Also comment down below for more or just what you need. Your key takeaways from today's episode and everything. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. It's Kalia Amani. Bye.